Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Nothing Nerdy. I am back here with the Inspector Who Reacts. Hello, Inspector. And today we will be discussing my latest Marvel adventure, Doctor Strange. so, just the other day I watched Spider-Man Homecoming. We did that one on Friday. So we spaced it out a little bit this week. So some weeks we do two. Usually when we do two, we do both in one night, but we kind of spaced it out a little bit.
Yeah. Instead of like doing Homecoming and Doctor Strange, we just did Homecoming then Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so we could talk a little. We could focus more on one at a time. Chuck, hello, and hello, MXC. Inspector is low. Oh, your
Is that
audio.
better now?
Your audio.
Oh yeah. How about now? Is that better?
That sounds a little bit better, I think.
Okay.
All right, so my overall impression, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. This was another movie that's like, all right, this is my speed. This is my type of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this movie and Spider-Man, like for me, it was just like it's just been like a nice change of pace from like the intense, action-packed movie. Like, not that this didn't have any action, but like um, all the other ones were just so action-packed. It was just a little bit. It was a little bit much for me. Um,
Uh,
I don't know about this movie, very hippy dippy, and you know me, I'm very hippy dippy. So
I
this
was gonna
was
say.
right up my alley.
I was gonna say. I don't know if you were ready for like. We had like some some weird stuff with Ant Man, but this like takes it to level 10 with like or like 11 with the trippiest.
But you see, okay, busting your chops. Yeah, but anybody who like people who know me, like this is my kind of stuff though. Like, I'm into the hippy dippy stuff. I don't talk about it much, but I'm into the hippy dippy stuff. So when I was watching this, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is good." The chakra charts, I know that. I know that stuff.
All right.
Sorry, confession.
Uh,
I'm a hippy dippy nerd too, so
new nerdy canon is revealed.
yes. So this movie was right up my alley. Very, very enjoyable. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll give my oh Lord, Dr. Frankie Strange. I guess I'll give my reading at the end. She loves Wonderland mushrooms. Benedict Cumberbatch played a great Khan in Star Trek as well. So I've seen. I'm a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch. I haven't seen him in a lot of things, but I saw the first season of Sherlock.
Sherlock. Yeah.
Um, and I liked how he kind of plays that same type,
Yeah.
very, very arrogant, very full of himself, and
I'd say he's a little more of an ass in this one than Sherlock.
um, in certain ways.
In the
Uh,
beginning, in the beginning.
oh, in the beginning,
He
he
becomes
evolves. Yes, and again,
yeah.
another thing I love it when with these movies when you see the character evolve, and you definitely
Yeah.
saw that with him. Um, even Christine was like who are you? Like what happened to you? like,
Yeah.
um, he's an ass with a purpose. Really made the hero's journey work. Definitely.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so he's like perfect for this type of role to play that type of
Yeah.
character. Um, he plays it very, very naturally. So, all right, so we start out, and I'll say in the beginning, I was like a
Yeah.
little confused. I was like, oh, well, I guess anybody would be who's not familiar with the Doctor Strange story. So in the beginning, I was kind of like, all right, what's going on here? The beginning, I was like, I feel like I'm tripping out, like,
Oh. Oh
like,
yeah, the
the,
beginning fight with the
when
ancient
they're in the mirror dimension or
bat.
whatever. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like okay, so I'm guessing they're just gonna expect magic, but I don't think she's gonna be expecting like this.
That, yeah. I mean, it was cool to watch. I mean, I was like, wow, this, like, watching this on screen, like, that's pretty creative,
Yeah.
looks pretty cool.
The
Um,
effects were insane.
yeah, they definitely went all out with the effects. No, the beginning didn't ruin the movie for me. It wasn't because it wasn't like I mean, yeah, they're in the city and they're doing all these weird things, but I was like, all right, they're clearly in another dimension and no one's dying and buildings aren't collapsing. It just looks really weird. So,
Imagine that in 3D. Like
ooh. Did this movie come out in 3D at all? That would have
I
been,
believe so, yeah.
yeah.
That's them doing the 3D craze.
I think I have 3D glasses around here somewhere. On my Doctor Who shelf, I have. Oh, the beheading. No, I didn't watch that part. So yeah, so in the beginning, when the guy's in the library, and then Caecilius, Caecilius,
Mads Mikkelsen.
I called him Casey in my notes because I mean, I feel like if we were friends, that's what I would call him because that's really the abbreviated version of it.
Here's your cult leader, Casey.
Casey. Listen, Casey, I'm really not down with this plan that you have right now. I don't think it's a good idea. So he and his Caecilius, Jen Urso's dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Galen Erso.
Jen Urso's. Oh, okay.
Good one. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. All right. Well, there were a couple of people in this movie that I recognized. I didn't recognize him. But so anyway, so they break into the break in. I guess they came in through a portal to the Kamatage. It's don't listen to me. I don't say it right. We'll call it the Taj. To the library, and they behead the librarian so that they can steal the pages from this book of significance. Sling ring.
The rings they wear to make the portals.
Oh, okay. All right, it wasn't.
They steal a page, and the Ancient One catches them and chases them.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the first kind of action scene.
Yeah, we get this wild goose chase through. That one that they were in. Oh, was that one in New York? Or London? Okay.
This one's New York.
And they were like going through buildings in the streets, and it just looked so psychedelic. I don't even know any other way to explain it. It was just kind of crazy. But then they escape the Ancient One, and they go through like a portal, which takes them to London.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the hospital, Strange and his gimmicks.
Yeah, so we, Tilda Swinton. Oh, okay. I was trying to remember the name of that actress. I was like, I know her from, I mean, I know I've seen her in other things. I recognize her from Narnia.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's the witch.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen her in other things, but she's good at that role where she has to kind of be stone cold, and she just has such presence. She was perfect for that role.
Something about her just seems like she's good at being ancient.
All right, don't tell her that, okay?
I know, but she's like, almost immortal in a way.
Yeah.
She has that kind of presence.
That wisdom. She commands presence of the stage, of the room, of the camera. She played Constantine too as Gabriel. Oh, okay. Probably not your kind of movie, but I think Inspector Reacts would like her. Snowpiercer. I don't know.
Yeah, she was in Constantine. That too.
I definitely didn't see any of those. But, yeah, it was cool to see her in this role. She was perfect for it. I gotta say, the Marvel movies, they do really well with their casting. Like...
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Just kidding.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. The Ancient One in this movie is very different from the original comics.
Oh. Was it a man?
So, a very foreign man.
Okay.
So, people were kind of confused or upset. There was a little bit of an upsetness with why they picked her
Okay.
over, like, a more accurate depiction of the original
Yeah.
So,
I can understand that if, you know.
yeah. I mean, she's not bad. I don't
Right.
mind. It's just, I kind of understand why there would be a little bit of upset.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I think that's understandable. If, you know, people who grew up with these stories and know them inside and out and they see someone like completely different play the role. I can understand that. But anyway, I guess having no knowledge of, you know, um, having no knowledge of these movies, it was, you know, I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, she's so great in this. But yeah, no, I could definitely, I could definitely see that. All right, so we go to a hospital in New York and we meet Dr. Stephen Strange, who
Which is, yeah, Doctor Strange is not his made up name. It's not his superhero name. It's his name.
yeah, and I was surprised by that. I thought, I don't know, I figured there well it must have some kind of relevance. Maybe he becomes strange and that's just what they call him. This is going to be a strange talk. Yeah. um so yeah, apparently it's his real name, and he's a neurosurgeon, but he's very arrogant, and you know he doesn't really treat his coworkers with respect, and he embarrasses them, and
He also is like, he's kind of treats patients like for fame or something like that. He doesn't really, like, it's not like about the patient. I don't know how to describe it.
I know, yeah, it's not about the patient, it's about him, kind of like his, I mean, it
The
worked,
skill.
yeah, like in this particular scenario that we see in the beginning, he's operating, there's like this thing, so the other doctor, um
One patient, like, has a bullet in his head.
yeah, and Christine Palmer was working with another doctor on this particular patient, but she runs to Doctor Strange. There's something. This doctor's saying he's dead, but I don't think he is. Um, or something. I don't know. Yeah, something with the bullet in the brain. Um, but anyway, he's like, I'll fix it.
Yeah, like, I know how to fix this. I can do this. And
Yeah.
he also he kind of, like, needs the room to be exactly how he wants it, sort of, because it's like, he's got the guy, yeah, it's like Sherlock. He wants, like, Anderson to not look at him when he's doing the, like, detecting.
Yeah, and don't,
Yeah.
he told one of the guys to cover his watch. He needed complete
Yeah.
silence. And then when they were working on him, the other doctors in the room were insisting, like, no, you have to use the machine to cut this thing out or whatever. And he's like, no, I'll do it by hand.
I can eyeball it.
Yeah. And he did, and like that was one of those. I mean, I don't know. Feel like that was one of those scenarios where it's like where we saw his arrogance, where he probably should have played it safe and did it the other way.
Yeah.
But he did it this way, but it worked out. Captain Spike, hello. Did you pick up on one of the patients he?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, this a little later, but.
Yeah, he took back. He deleted the message.
Well, it's not really a spoiler or anything.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
But I was gonna bring that up.
I'm ahead of you guys. Okay.
Just yeah, later before the crash. When he's like getting the messages, and the guy's like offering like, hey, you want to like work on this patient? Do you want to work on this patient? One of the he mentions like a person was got paralyzed in some experimental armor, and that possibly could have been Rhodey from Civil War.
I see. Again, one of those things I love about these movies, how they tie those things in together. Steve, hello. Sorry, guys, I got ahead of you. No, you're fine. Not too far ahead. We're just about. Yeah, we're just about to get there. So, but yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, he's rich too in the beginning.
And in the beginning, yes, he's rich. He has a lot of money, and again, I know everything he's very arrogant about, and got his fancy car and all that stuff. But okay, so then there's the scene where I don't think I missed anything else. There's the scene where he's driving home after work.
He's driving to a party, I believe, because he's suited up for something.
Okay.
And he's driving a little recklessly. He's looking at his phone and such. That results into quite a very extreme crash.
Yeah, that was, and there was another scene where I just I couldn't look. But yeah, the car, I think, like went off a cliff. It went off something, a bridge, I don't know, and it just went into the water and it spun. You see his hand kind of crash
him go into the
into.
steering wheel
Yeah.
dashboard thing, which
Uh,
results in his biggest injury.
yeah. When he wakes up, like when he comes to, the first thing he sees is like he's like lying in a bed, but he
Yeah,
sees his hands kind of resting on this sling, and there's all these like they look like pins and needles or whatever in his
yeah.
hands, and
That he was
um
holding the fingers together.
yeah, and Christine is there, and she's trying to talk to him. Everything's gonna be okay. Um, they did everything that they could, and he's like, I could have done better. You so he wasn't too happy with
Yeah.
how
Now
he was.
he's not able to be a doctor, be a surgeon
Yeah,
anymore, like properly.
yeah, and that was kind of his identity. That was what he prided himself on. So now he was literally stripped away of who he was, of what was important to him, and he's got nothing. That's a rough
Yeah.
morning. Whenever he woke up,
So
oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
yeah, so we get a kind of a montage of time passing of where he's trying to get surgeries to fix the nerves. He's trying to um, ask these other doctors to help him. Ask these other areas. He's spending his money
Mm-hmm.
to get this fixed, and yeah, it's really depressing to see what happens to him
Yeah, and like there are doctors that are refusing to help him.
because of the reputation.
Yeah,
Like that.
um, yeah, and he starts thinking like, okay, well, I need more money. What if I take it alone? So we see he's making, like at the beginning, like you said, he was rich. So now we see he's obviously working his way through all his money to try and just heal himself. Between doctors and consultations and treatments and um, you know he's got nothing left. They did to him what he did to patients.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Karma.
And yeah, he gets into a fight with Christine,
Mm.
which she takes pretty well, honestly. I'll say
She's a tough girl. I liked her.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just kind of like makes like here she is. She's this sweet woman who is just wants to take care of him, wants to make sure he's okay, and she checks on him and supports him. And he just kind of like lashes out at her and like makes fun of her personality of being this sweet little and basically he makes it very clear that he doesn't need her, he doesn't want her, and so she's like goodbye. She tosses the keys and she heads out the door, and that's the last he sees of her for a long time. Oh, that scene was so freaking hard. I would have punched him for her.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's like, man, he was rough in the beginning. It's like, and also it was like, Doctor Strange has actually become one of my favorite characters in like, not just from this movie, but later on. But yeah, it was like, it's like Thor in like the first movie. It's like, man, I forgot how different Thor is, because I've been so used to like the later movies.
Mm-hmm.
Is much more calm, much more humble.
Yeah.
Appearance versus his early on youthful arrogance.
Yeah. Not even that bad, but good lord, he needed a punch in the face for that. He did. But he learned. He eventually learned. After that, he decides to. So over the course of his journey and trying to heal him, trying to find different methods of healing himself, he talks to, I don't know if it was like a physical therapist or something, or another doctor.
I believe, it was a physical therapist.
He asked him, like, have you ever heard of anyone who's been able to, like, heal, like, from something so traumatic or whatever?
Yeah.
And he said that he saw a patient who was paraplegic, and at one point he just stopped coming. So he wasn't sure if he gave up or whatever. Anyway, there was one day they crossed paths on the street, and he was walking. Like it never happened. But he didn't know what happened or whatever. Anyway, he helped Doctor Strange get his file, looked up his name, found him playing basketball outside with some friends, and he calls over to him and he asks him, how did you do it? what did you do? And he, he says, I healed myself. I healed myself. But he tells him, I went to a place called, Kamar, Kamatage. I can't say it. Kamatage?
Yeah.
Is the R silent? Kamatage?
I think the R is there.
Kamatage. All right. I'll work on it, guys. It's my first time watching this movie.
But yeah, so he travels to this place and is searching for it,
Mm-hmm.
asking the locals and such.
And,
gets into a street fight.
oh, yeah, they wanted his watch, and he just couldn't. I guess that was, like, really the last thing he had that was, like, worth anything, and he didn't want to give it up. Daniel, hello! Starting at the beginning. Yeah, we haven't been doing it too long.
And, yeah. Yeah, so, but then, what's his name?
Mordo.
Mordo, yeah. Saves him. And he shows off some kung fu moves.
Yeah, he's pretty impressive. He was pretty cool. And,
takes Strange to Taj Mahal, finds the place.
mm-hmm.
They go and meet the ancient one.
Mm-hmm. And they have an interesting back and forth. She offers him some tea.
Yeah.
And he's being himself. He's very arrogant, and he's just like kind of dismissing everything that she's saying. She takes out these agent from Firefly.
Oh yeah, the Serenity movie. The guy who's hunting the crew.
All right. I will say only because I didn't like it. I only watched Serenity once. So.
Yeah, he's Mordo's the same actor from Serenity.
Okay.
That's the one I know him from. I've seen him in other things, but I can't remember them.
Okay. I hated what they did in that movie. They should have all. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it, but I mean, well, at this point you should have. It's been a long time, but that's for another discussion. I'm not over it. You know how I feel. Everybody should live. Greatness Mountain. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Oh, he has been in a lot of good movies. Another great actor. I guess I'll have to look him up and see what else he's done that I may have seen. So anyway, the Ancient One, she takes out these charts, and she's like, "Do you recognize this chart?" And it was like, I don't remember what it was, like just a chart of the body, the nerves or something. Yeah. And he's like, yes, I've seen that, whatever.
System, CT scan.
Yeah, and then
the chakra.
Then she takes out the chakra chart, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "I came all this way for all this hippy dippy stuff. This is, and he's like ready to lose it. And then, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's not happy with what he believes are like the results.
Yeah, she's trying to tell him like, you heal yourself. It's all about your mind. It can, kind of like a little bit like Star Wars. Your focus determines your reality.
Yeah. They're like just because you're a man of science, but there are ways beyond science that can help you that you can't because of your mind at this moment can't understand.
Yeah. Strange was done. He was ready to get out of there, and then she's like, let me show you the world, and he goes on this hippy dippy journey, totally psychedelic, like into like the other, into like these other dimensions and all these vibrant colors, and he's just like,
what's in that tea?
He's going all over the place, and then he comes back and he was like, what was in that tea? Like, yeah. As the Ancient One was talking, Frankie was nodding in agreement. I was.
It was, yeah. And then he's just like, okay, I believe you, teach me. She's like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, after all that, she's like, no, I can't teach you, you know. Oh yeah, tea, but just a little bit of honey. Like that, the way she delivered that line, that was just, it was funny. Um, but yes, she just dismisses him, and she talks with Mordo, I believe,
Yeah.
and anyway, she revealed, like she said, he reminds me too much of Caecilius.
Yeah.
That same personality.
Yeah,
um,
the same kind of. He also mentions like these they come to this place to help themselves, deal with something, but then they kind of learn to deal with something else. Like he says, he came to fight his enemies, but she helps him fight his demons.
yeah,
Um, and that Strange could be something great if they guided him.
yeah.
So they let him back in.
Eventually, do yeah.
5 hour.
He doesn't give up. Yeah, he sits out there banging on the door for hours and hours and hours, and finally, you know, they let him back in.
Which, by this point, I do feel so bad for him.
I
I feel so bad. It's like,
I know it's like
help him.
it's like something this whole world has opened up to you, and you're like, it's enough to make you believe, and then you're like, then like it's taken from you, you know. So yeah, like you felt bad. You started to pity him. Finally, you know.
Yeah.
He had nowhere else to go. Yeah, he had no money left. Christine didn't want him anymore, and couldn't go back to work. He had hit rock bottom. He had nothing else at this point.
One-way trip.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, they let him back in, and he begins.
Give him a room.
He gets his room.
Gets the Wi-Fi password.
Oh, that was funny. He hands him, before Mordo leaves the room, he gives him a piece of paper with like a word on it, and he's like, what is this, a mantra? And he's like, this is Wi-Fi. It's your Wi-Fi password. We're not. I forget what he said.
We're civilized.
Yeah, we're civilized. That's what he was. It was funny. Christine still wanted him. He just had the wrong email address.
Did he?
Did he? I don't remember that.
I never noticed that. Or
Shambhala. We are not savages. Oh, we are not savages. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
And so Strange begins his training.
Yeah. And in the beginning, you know, it doesn't go very well. You know, he's kind of in these classes. Oh, you're joking about the email. Sorry, sometimes things go over my head. I thought it was a detail I missed. You know, classes aren't going that well for him. Like, you see other people making these things.
Glyphs. Symbols, glyphs, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
And he's doing it, and nothing's happening. And at one point, the Ancient One, I don't know if I'm skipping anything, where the Ancient One kind of sends him to,
Mount Everest.
Yeah.
I believe that's one.
she so it's not going well for him. The Ancient One recognizes he's not fully like submitted to this. He's not fully giving in. So she teaches him a lesson and sends him to Mount Everest. And even and she leaves him there, and I was like, oh my god, like.
and then Mordo shows up and he's like, where's Strange? And she's like, he'll be here soon. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, even he was doubtful, like this isn't going to go well. But so he had to submit. He had to give in, and
His trial by snow, by fire, snow, or something.
yeah. Oh yeah. What did she say? Like a typical person would last about 30 minutes out here in this type of weather, but you no more than 2 minutes, or something like that.
Before shock starts to get you.
Yeah. Oh, not again. Did he say that? It's fine. But anyway, next thing we know, he does it. We see the hands going like this, and he comes through a portal from Mount Everest back to Kamatage.
He's able to perform the spell to get him back
Yeah.
to safety.
Yeah. So And from there we see a change in him. You know, he starts.
So he meets Wong.
Yes. He goes to the library, and we recognize the library from the
Yeah,
beginning. And this time there's a new librarian, and it's Wong, and
yeah, just Wong.
just Wong. No, no first name, no anything. Um, Pelican 7 standing by. um, and like Doctor Strange tries to like joke around with him, but it's just
Yeah.
not. He's kind of like stone cold.
Do you laugh?
Yeah. um, can't blame a guy coming back. Oh. So, oh, Empire Strikes Back. I was like, ESB. um, so he goes there to do, well, he's returning books. He was returning books that he read, I think.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, he read all these books already. Now he's ready for more books.
yeah, and as we eventually learn, he has a photographic memory, so he kind of like goes through them very quickly.
It helped him become a doctor. His memory, his skills, his able to read and learn things quickly
Yeah.
is what leads him to quickly absorb all this magic stuff,
Yeah.
magic lessons.
Yeah. Wong played by Benedict Wong. Yes, the actor's
Yeah.
last name is Wong. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I should really when I get a chance, I really want to look up the cast from here and see what I may have seen other people in, and read about them. But so anyway, he takes him to another section in the library.
Yeah, because I think he notices how advanced Strange has become. He's like, okay, here's some more advanced books to help you because the other books, they're not quite your level. I think your level's a little higher, so I'm gonna help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the Ancient Ones collection.
Mhm.
She's like, yeah, you can't touch those.
Yeah.
You can't have those books.
Yeah. Yeah, this was one of those areas where like it started to get like a little confusing for me once it started talking about the sanctums and whatever he was explaining to him like that, like it confused me a little bit. But like I mean I understood it a little bit better as the
Yeah.
can't look them up until later Frankie spoilers. Oh, I forget that. I have gotten in trouble with that before. That's how I found out about the other Agent Carter. So
Yeah.
I have to.
That was a Wikipedia mistake, though. Kinda.
Yeah.
But don't worry. Yeah, you'll have the whole cast list by the end of this.
Yeah. Yeah. In a few more weeks, I'll be able to go through everything. All right. Yeah. So he's protected from other dimensions by a spell formed from 3 buildings called sanctums, found in New York, London, and Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We talk about okay. Task of the sorcerer is to protect the sanctums. Though Pangborn chose to forego this responsibility. And if you, I'm reading from my notes here. Favor of channeling energy.
I can't remember if this happens because I remember this is like the second time they're at the library. This conversation with.
Oh, okay. You want to know something? I will say this. When I was going, I this is my notes are from what is it? Marvel fandom something. The notes were really confusing. Like there were times where it seemed to me that it wasn't matching up, but I thought maybe the notes were going into more detail that I just was kind of going over my head. So all right. So you know what? Don't go by me.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember this too. I'm trying to remember what happens next. Strange does learn, read more, get better at the books, has a discussion with Mordo about the Ancient Ones,
Mm-hmm.
like how old is she, how long she's been, who she is.
He starts to as he gains more knowledge, he starts to question things a little bit more. Like as he
Yeah.
gains understanding, he starts to question, like I guess the authority, figure.
He's wondering what, like, okay, so we're magic, we're sorcerers, we're all this. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we like this?
Yeah. And was this the part with the weapon? Did we get up to the?
I think so. Yeah, where like the staff and like him and are training.
Yeah, yeah. There was him and Mordo are like they're doing like this combat training, and Mordo's got a weapon, and Doctor Strange asks, okay, when am I gonna get a weapon? And he says like it will come to you. Question knowledge is part of a higher learning. Yes. Your weapon will come to you when.
Yeah, your weapon or magic item that we will use will choose you.
Right.
Like the wand chooses the wizard.
Yeah. And then
Relics, yeah.
And then I think at this point, as he's continuing to learn, we start to see him mess with like bending time, like the thing with the apple.
Yeah, this happens the second time he goes to the library. But he also before that he sneaks in. He like sneaks past Wong using the portal to steal books.
Oh, I must have missed that. I must have been taking notes at that part. I missed that.
Yeah, that's when Wong's like listening to Beyonce on his like headphones.
Oh, I must have been doing something because I remember hearing the music, but
Yeah, that's a funny scene. But yeah, then we get to the one where he like looks up one of the Ancient One's books, discovers the eye of Agamotto. Is that how it's pronounced?
Agamotto, I think so.
Yeah, and decides to use it to try it for himself.
Yeah, and so he practices first with like an apple. Like he was eating an apple, and then we see it like he finishes it, and then it comes back, and then it comes all the way back, like it's a full apple, and then he takes that practice and puts it towards the missing pages in the book, and he's able to
bring the pages back to what they were before the ripping.
Yeah, and that's when Wong walks in, right?
Yeah, that's when Mordo and Wong find him, and they kind of stop him before he breaks time. Like accidentally causes a time distortion.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked that whole scene. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's when we get the explanation about okay, so the Avengers are the physical defenders, we are the mystical defenders.
Yeah, like so they protect the physical world. There are beings and dimensions beyond this that you also need to be protected from, and that's what we do. And they talk about the different sanctums.
Yeah. These sanctums protect the planet from the other these dimensional beings.
Yeah. They mentioned multiverse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dormammu. I can't remember.
I have it written. Dormammu?
Dormammu or something. I think it's Dormammu.
They do have some.
B or M.
Definitely an M.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. Dormammu. DormamMu. Dormammu.
Okay.
Dormammu. All right. So go ahead. I have no idea how to spell that.
That's how they learn. That's what Caecilius was. The spell he was trying to perform to bring this being into Earth to, from his opinion, save it.
Okay, right. So from the darker dimension.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. So the name of the being was Dormammu.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I got it now. Sorry, I'm still figuring some of this stuff out.
It's a weird name.
But okay.
And that's when London gets attacked, and it results in Strange getting stuck in New York for a bit.
That's when there's this whole battle between Caecilius and his people, and
which I whole like action scene from the New York Sanctum to basically when they go to the Hong Kong Sanctum is like this huge segment.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't time it, but it certainly seemed to go on. Um, yeah, they come into the library, right? They show up in the library.
No, I don't
No.
think no, I don't think they come to the
All
library.
right, just kidding, guys.
But the Strange like exploring the New York area, trying to see what it's all about. Which it's called Beaker Street. Which I
Oh.
wonder if that's a reference to Baker Street for Sherlock.
Oh. Maybe. I never noticed that.
It's yeah, it's like so we now have two Sherlocks in the MCU. We have Robert Downey Jr. We have Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that Robert Downey Jr. played
And
Sherlock.
Christine, she was in also Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock movie.
Was she? I couldn't get
Yeah,
through that movie. I think there was more than one, I think. But I watched.
yeah. There's and the two Watsons. We had Jude Law Watson and we had Martin Freeman from Civil War.
Oh. Oh, Martin Freeman was in Civil War?
Yeah, he was he was in Civil War.
Oh, wow.
So
I hear a dog.
we got a bunch of people.
Sherlock Watson. Oh. Okay. He was a government agent.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what, when all of this is over, I have to go through each movie and like look at the list of people in there and like look at their IMDb thing and be like, oh my gosh, I know who that person is. It's like goes over my head. And sometimes like especially when it's a like a character that has like all the makeup on, like they're
Yeah.
a creature or being or whatever they look.
Yeah,
It's hard to recognize.
Sometimes it hides it.
Yeah.
If you didn't have like the cast list names.
Yeah. Yeah, the notes I use, they don't include like the actors. But Benedict Cumberbatch, I know.
Yeah. And he finds Caecilius and his agents come and attack the Sanctum of New York, and he says, it's like, so what are you, Mr. Doctor or something? It's like strange. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
strange.
strange.
Yeah.
A little bit. Well, let Judge. So Strange gets into a fight. Is able to separate a couple of Caecilius's two henchmen.
Yeah, he like throws them in the portals, like in the
Yeah,
doorways or whatever, with the
little
knob.
doorway portals, which was really cool. After which also Caecilius was able to kind of alter like gravity for men, change like
Mhm.
the hallway,
Yeah.
which is a really cool fight.
Yeah.
And then has Strange find Caecilius. The little cape saves him.
Oh yes. Yeah, I didn't realize what was happening at first with the cape. I was like, what is this? But I thought that was cute. I like the cape.
Yeah.
And it starts like pulling him in like another direction. Like he's trying to. I think. Yeah, he was like trying to go after an axe. I think he saw on the wall.
Yeah.
The cape has sass. Yes, it does. And it starts pulling him in the opposite direction. And he sees this. Cape is the best character. Yes. Hello, Portal. Yeah, the cape had a personality all its own. It pulled him in the direction of this other. I don't even know what it was, but a thing.
It's like a body cage of sorts.
Okay. It just looked like a lot of metal. Yeah, he grabs it and throws that at the guy, and right, gets wraps around him, Caecilius, and then they have this conversation, and Caecilius is like, I don't remember, obviously how he words it exactly, but Ancient One's not who you think she is. She draws upon the darker dimensions, for her power, for her ability to live beyond her age capacity.
She uses that power
Yeah.
which is a power which is supposed to be forbidden.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right. So.
And, that's but one of Caecilius, after their conversation goes on for a bit, one of the Caecilius's hench guys returns because he's stole the sling ring from Strange and wound Strange for a bit.
Yeah, he like stabs him. So then he starts to run. The cape flies off him and wraps itself around the guy so that he can't see or move or anything like that, giving yeah. Giving Strange enough time to make a portal, and he goes through it and is in the closet, one of the closets at the hospital.
Yeah, finds Christine.
Yeah, he goes running through in his getup, calling for Christine. Christine finds him, and she's like, I gotta get help, and he's like, no, you. So they go into the operating room. I love how no one's like interrupting them while this is happening. Yeah. I think that's kind of weird, but she puts him on the table.
He passes out.
Christine is good people, yes. Yeah. And she starts working on him, but then all of a sudden, his body, his
astral projects himself out of his body to continue to observe and scares the daylights out of her for a moment.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody else thought this. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I thought it was weird that she could see him.
I guess he had like just some magical way he's able to show himself to her, because he just kind of like go through a dimensional wall.
I get.
Project himself.
I don't know. I thought I was like, that doesn't really make sense, because depending on how they define astral projection in this universe, like you're in another plane, so how could she see you? I thought it didn't make sense.
It's magic.
Right, and she couldn't see the other guy. They were fighting, and I think you're right. I don't think she could see the other guy either.
Yeah, she couldn't see the other guy, but I don't think the other guy was, trying to show himself to.
So maybe it's also about like intent.
Yeah. Strange also is like, okay, my body, I'm bleeding here. Here's the.
Yeah, he points like just right there, and she like kind of freaks out. What's happening? If it was connected between them or her doing anything, it could have been like their bond, their connection. Could be. Just strange being. One of these things I'll have to Google when I'm done with all these movies. I have lots of questions.
Yeah, pretty interesting fight, ghost fight, basically.
Yeah. So then the other guy astral projects and into the portal, and they start having this ghost fight. I mean, it was I thought it was a little weird, but.
Like knocks kind of disrupts a few things, knocks some of the vending machine food free.
Yeah.
And so Strange gets knocked out in the astral plane, and that knocks out his real body. So Christine defibs it.
Yeah, and he tells her to do it again and do it more, and she's like, no, I can, but.
So, I guess defibbing his real body causes, a lot of electrical discharge in his astral body.
Yeah. And then, there's, this, if I understand correctly, the charge kind of went through him and, knocked the other guy out?
He was able to, knock it into, I don't know, take out the other guy using it.
Okay, yeah, because it was I think the guy had ended up with a hole in his head or something. I don't know if he burned.
I think it was the scar from the spell, the dark dimension spell.
Okay.
That's what it was. But yeah, he dies. So he dies from that, from the fight between him and Strange.
Okay.
And so Strange wakes back up in his real body.
Yeah, and Christine is sewing him back up, and they have a little chat, and he basically apologizes, and he mentions like, listen, I emailed you and you didn't respond, and but I'm sorry for everything I said, and she's like what's going on? Who is this guy?
What cult did you join?
Yeah, yeah. um, yeah. So she has a lot of questions. Obviously, nothing he can explain too much. Um, but yeah. So they kind of end on good terms, and she takes him back to the closet. It does sound like a cult. It does. It does.
Well, so it's like, well, like she asked what's going on. He's like, well, I gotta go stop these guys from destroying this place, and I need to get through that teleporter right there, and there's a huge, dimensional being that's gonna swallow up the planet. She's like, all right, fine, don't tell me the truth.
Yeah. I very typical reaction. I mean, the reaction makes sense. Who would believe that? You know. So understandable, but yeah, that was funny.
And then, he shows her the portal, goes through, and a broom scares her.
Oh yeah, so as soon as the portal closes and the broom drops and she just like jumps out of her skin. Poor Christine.
She's just on edge from all the jump scares.
Yeah.
Dealing with today.
She was gonna go home and drink that night, I'm sure. She had a rough night. But but it wasn't over yet.
Yeah. So he comes back, puts on the cape. The Ancient One and Mordo are there to find out what the heck happened here.
Yeah.
Caecilius escaped from his prison somehow.
Yeah.
And they have an interesting conversation because Strange brings up that he's a doctor. His goal as a doctor was to do no harm.
Yeah.
And he just killed somebody.
Yeah.
And they mention it's like you're not a doctor anymore. You're a sorcerer. You're this wizard guy. And he's like, no, I didn't sign up. I just wanted to heal my hands. I didn't want to join this intergalactical battle or whatever.
Yeah. I liked how they had him deal with that, like the fact that he just killed a man. I mean, he's a doctor who saves lives, and
Fighting wars isn't what he signed up for.
Right, and a very normal response. So, but he starts to, I believe at that point he questions her. He tells her what Caecilius says, and
about her ancient, about her power, about her using the dark dimension, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mordo doesn't believe it at first.
Right, he's in denial, and doesn't think like he should be questioning her or whatever. He believes blindly. So.
Yeah. But then we get to the next action sequence.
Yeah.
Which is Caecilius is about to blow up this sanctum, but Strange stops it with a mirror dimension.
Right.
Yeah. However, that kind of backfires.
Yeah, like he thinks it's like this clever plan, and I thought at first too, I was like, oh, okay, that guess makes sense. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. But then it
did save the sanctum, but it did put them in danger.
Yeah. And then we get another fight scene. Another city, yeah. Another psychedelic.
Stanley cameo.
What's that?
Stanley cameo on the bus.
Oh, that's right. It's paused on this. I'm like this. Oh, stream resumed. Okay. We're back. Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
Gotta love it. My face was like... Wow. All right. So another battle ensues, and then the Ancient One...
Crazy imagery, the city...
Yeah.
All, folding on itself.
Yeah, it looked... I wonder how... that's computer stuff, but, how they did all that.
That'd be interesting. I haven't really, looked at the behind-the-scenes stuff, but, yeah, the effects are really well done in this film.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'd be curious as to what went into it. But then, um, the Ancient One gets, right at this point, she gets,
she battles Caecilius, and he through kind of killing one of his own guys, kills her.
yeah. And Doctor Strange obviously, panics. He grabs her, makes a portal, and takes her. Oh wait, no, wait. So
No,
he stabs.
he doesn't save her. She actually hits the ground.
Right, right. I forgot about the part. So she gets stabbed, but then I don't. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how, but yeah, then she ends up falling and.
He kicks her through a portal. Strange and Mordo follow through the portal, and um, like call out, like they carry her from there to the hospital.
Right, right. I just couldn't remember how she ended up falling, but yeah. So then she gets stabbed. She falls through. She hits the ground. Everybody sees, but but yeah. Then Strange grabs her and takes her through the portal, and brings her to the hospital.
Christine's like, oh, not again.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here to stitch you up every single time you get stabbed.
And so they start to work on her, and
Strange offers, like, lets the other doctors do it because he obviously can't.
Yeah.
His hands are still shaky.
Right. And then her astral body comes out, and
he projects his and follows her, trying to, and they have a conversation, which is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, honestly.
It was really moving. I felt like, they're up on a ledge, I guess the ledge of the building, and they're looking out at the sky, and
slow motion rainstorm.
Yeah.
Happening.
It's a good conversation, yeah. And
yeah, they have one of my favorite lines too is like when like she's like bringing up like how Strange is always like he's always taking these things seriously. He's always like learned and studied, but there's like this one thing he's not figured out yet, and it's like that lesson is like to be or like to be a hero or to be this great sorcerer that he needs to be. He has to understand that everything is about him.
Right.
It's about others. It's about it's not about you.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite like lessons is sometimes there's things out there that it's not about you. It's about what you can do for others.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, it was very, very powerful. Very Yoda Obi-Wan to a young Luke, but longer. That's a good way to put it. And then she grabs his hand, and which I didn't see coming. I thought that was like, oh, like that's sweet, like it's like her final moment, and then I don't remember how she words it, but she's like, look at me, here I am trying to prolong this moment just so I could see the snow, yeah. And then
she disappears.
She dissipates, yeah, and she's gone. They couldn't save her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow. It was very, very moving.
Yeah.
And I was sad when I watched that part. It's like, it's interesting. Here she is. She's this, kind of like a Yoda, but like not perfect. She did make this choice, but yet that choice that she made did help teach so many people, which they talk about afterwards. Hero's Journey is so good, yeah.
And so Strange comes back and realizes he needs to stand up. He needs to take the mantle, take the job, save the day of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And him and Christine part for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to Mordo, where Mordo's now like his reality is kind of shattered.
Yeah.
Of what realizing that the Ancient One was using these dark powers behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
But he agrees with Strange that they need to help because the Hong Kong kingdom's now under attack.
Yeah. So Wong heads there first.
Yeah, he's there ready to stop Caecilius
Mm-hmm.
with his army of wizards.
Right.
But they don't succeed.
Yeah, they get taken down. Wong dies, and Hong Kong starts to just you start to see the dark realm is just kind of expanding, and buildings and are falling, and people are falling.
Everything's kind of getting absorbed.
Yeah. And then Doctor Strange and Mordo show up, and
they're too late.
They're too late. They run into Caecilius, but then
Strange has the eye of Agamotto.
Mm-hmm.
He has that thing, that power with him, so he decides to use it.
Yeah.
And is able to, which is a really, honestly, really cool scene to see this whole battle in reverse. Basically.
Yeah. Basically everything that happens starts to rewind. You see things going back to the way they were, buildings, people. We see Wong resurrected, which I was happy. And you even see Caecilius gets like pinned into a wall as it's going back to the way it was. And in that moment, I was like, is this gonna be one of those things where he's put into a wall, but 10 years later in another movie he comes out of it? That my mind just kind of like, is that the next Doctor Strange movie?
I live.
I mean, if Captain America can survive, for 40, 50 years after his plane crash, whatever, but
yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, but of course, the Caecilius and them are able to kind of pause time for a bit by breaking the spell that Strange was doing.
Yeah.
And they basically say it's too late. You're not going to be able to stop this. And Strange has an idea.
He decides to fly off into the darker dimension and face off with Dormammu. And but basically,
he comes to bargain.
Yeah, he comes to bargain. Dormammu says no. He wants him to obviously leave this world, leave these people alone, leave the this realm alone. He says no, so he does his thing and puts him in a time loop. And
he kills Strange, and then the next scene, Strange is back.
Yeah, and it's just this repeat.
Like, Dormammu?
Yeah.
I come to bargain. He's like, wait, what's happening here? Dormammu's confused.
This scene reminded me of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That episode with Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
There was that wall that he kept having to break through for 10,000 years or something like that. He just kept coming.
Yeah. And Strange basically quick saved before the boss fight.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, I didn't understand how he did that, but anyway, eventually he gives up. Well, not Doctor Strange.
So he basically causes this boss to rage quit.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be in this time loop anymore.
Yeah, he gives up.
And Strange, it's not shown the whole thing, but Strange was in there for much longer than was shown.
Oh, really?
So when he comes back into the real world, he's a little more combat improved.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically lived a training experience in that millisecond of time that he was in there with Dormammu.
Yeah. But anyway, Dormammu agrees to his terms, and I will leave everybody alone. So he
gets out of the time loop and takes. He leaves.
sends Caecilius and his people up.
Yeah. Well, the spell that they had performed now activates on them.
Mm-hmm.
Dormammu, takes them for eternal life.
Oh boy.
Which isn't, of course, not the life they were expecting.
Yeah.
One of the best jokes is like, you really should put the side effects before the the incantations.
And Wong laughs. He finally laughs. I like that because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And it shows his character evolve too. They become mindless ones. The Black Raven episode, honestly, one of the best scenes with Capaldi.
Yeah. That was a good on arc.
Yeah.
But Mordo is not quite satisfied with the situation.
No, he decides to walk away. Like,
he decided to leave the Jedi Order.
Yeah. Which in that moment, I was like, I get that. Like, everything he believed was just completely shattered. Like, he's kind of got to go off on his own and figure out what he believes in. However, in the, not the mid-credit scene, we'll talk about that in a second, but like the after-credit scene, no, it was the mid-credit scene, right?
No,
it's the after-credit. It's the after-credit.
The very after-credits.
It shows him going back to, what was his name?
Pangborn?
Pangborn?
The guy who healed himself
right.
with the magic.
He goes to him and basically says, you can't use this power. It's wrong. It's, you can't have it anymore. You can't do it. So he took it from him.
Yeah, and he steals the power back from the guy and paralyzes the guy again.
He immediately goes back to being paralyzed. I hated that. Like, I mean, I realize I'm assuming this is leading into another Doctor Strange movie, like setting it up for another movie. But I thought that was so sad.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for him.
Dark side.
Yeah, I was with Mordo. Like, prior to that, I was like, totally get why he's got to go on his own and figure it out and But to do that, it upset me. It's like, you just lost me.
But yeah, back to Strange. So Strange comes back to everything's sailed. He saved the day, so we go back to the sanctums, and he puts the Infinity Stone back.
Oh.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Wong mentions it. He has that eye is one of the Infinity Stones. It's the fifth one you've seen now.
Fifth one, I can't keep track.
So the Tesseract, the blue one, that's the Space Stone. The purple one, the Sphere, that's the Power Stone.
Okay.
The yellowish one, that's the Mind Stone, the one that Vision has. And
apparently he's got a stone.
And there's the Red Stone, the Reality Stone. That's the one from Thor.
Okay.
And now we have the Time Stone.
Okay.
Which is the green one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So those are the 5 you've seen so far.
Okay. All right. Did not put that. I didn't realize that. All right.
It's okay. It's an easy to miss line.
Yeah.
It's like I remember when I first saw the movie, I was like, I had no idea that was what it was until it was mentioned. I was like, oh. Yeah. So yeah. The Strange has an Infinity Stone.
Right. And he guards the one in New York now, right? The New York Sanctum. Okay.
He's in charge of the New York Sanctum.
Gotcha. Interesting. And that's really and then we have the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
Which was fun. As soon as it starts with you looking at Strange, but you hear Thor's voice, and I was like, I know that voice. And there he is. He's sitting with Doctor Strange drinking a beer. And it just keeps refilling.
He's just like,
Dog's excited. Somebody must be outside.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah, when we get to the next Thor movie, so this is actually a clip from a future movie.
okay.
So when we get to the next Thor movie, Doctor Strange will make an appearance.
Okay. I'm excited to see that. Yeah, so basically, Thor and Loki are looking for their father.
For Odin. So
Um,
Odin is alive.
right, which is good. I was surprised here. I was like, they're teaming up. I mean, I know they did in the last one, but like, I don't know. Spoilers. It's not spoilers. It was in the mid-credit scene.
Yeah. No, believe me, I know what to not say.
JK, okay.
Yeah, so that was Doctor Strange. And then, okay, another quick thing, which this is also one of my favorite music, like the music from
Ooh,
this
I
movie.
meed to say that too. I liked it. I liked it too.
Yeah, the theme, the whole kind of magical theme, which I don't know if this was intentional, but it does. It almost if you like listen to it, it sounds like a much more bombastic Harry Potter theme.
Mm.
Like it's kind of got the same kind of notes to it, but it's much more epic in a way.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely see that. It reminded me a little of I don't know if I'm going to sound like a nerd for saying this, Baroque style music. The I think it's called the harpsichord. It sounded like they were using in some. So I'm not trying to be weird. That's what it just
No,
reminded me.
I've never,
Okay.
I've not heard of what you're saying, but I'm interested.
Okay, no, I used to be into classical music, and it just, but I've been out of it for a while. It brought me back to that style of music. Certain songs and certain like parts of the songs. Hopefully, somebody in here knows classical music and can tell me if I'm crazy or not, but knows what I'm talking about.
I like some classical music.
Same composer who did the
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams Star Wars movies.
Michael Giacchino. He's he's another very famous composer, and yeah, I did like it. I did, he also did a Spider-Man.
Oh, you meant
He
Rogue.
did
I was confused for a second. I'm here. Okay, Rogue One. Never mind. All right, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, Michael Giacchino did Rogue One, I believe.
Yeah.
He also did Homecoming, Spider-Man's music too.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's also done The Incredibles.
Oh, I like The Incredibles.
Yeah, so I like his music. I like the way he composes music.
Oh,
too.
cool.
Um,
Yeah, I was confused. I thought you were making a joke, MXC. I was like, wait a minute, what? But now I know. I see what you mean. He did the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies.
Star Trek movies is the ones he did. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Star Wars is. Yeah, it was a little small miss.
Wait, J.J. Abrams did the Star Trek movies?
Yeah, J.J. Abrams did the new Star Trek movies.
Oh, I saw the first one. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. It's like J.J. Abrams basically wanted to do Star Wars, but he got Star Trek, and then he finally got.
And then he got Star Wars. Cool. All right. Sweet.
So yeah, that was Doctor Strange. What do you rank, Nerdy?
No, Anakin Skywalker. 9 out of 10. No, yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think once I see all the movies, then I can go back and decide which one's gonna get a 10 out of 10. But but this one for me was a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, this one, like I said, this phase has some of the top tier movies, honestly.
Okay, good.
And this Doctor Strange is definitely in my top 10 of all of them,
Mm-hmm.
of these movies. And we are getting into, so next Friday,
Mm-hmm.
we are getting into another really good movie,
Which one?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Ooh, okay. I won't forget that. I don't have to write that down. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, I'm
So,
excited to
yeah.
see that one.
I'm also excited to talk about that one. That one's another, like I said, I can't decide if I like it better or not as much as the first one, so
Mhm.
it's honestly just as good as the first one.
Okay. Oh, cool. And I did like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I had said in the beginning, I wasn't sure But then like it reached a point where I was like, oh, this is good. This is
Now that
getting
the
good.
characters are all together, now we can.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they are now. Like it ended with them like going off into the galaxy together. You know, they're a team. So I'm excited to see what they're up to. Only 8 left. Oh wow, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
All right, guys. Well, any final thoughts, Inspector?
Now, what about you? Any final thoughts from you? Anything?
No, this was really good. So I'm gonna say my top 3 so far was the first Captain America, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Doctor Strange. My top 3 so far. I'm not sure about the order. When this is all over, we're gonna have a discussion.
Yeah.
We're gonna rank them. But
We'll get a little. There's a website for tier list and rankings and such. So we'll do that for you.
yeah, that's gonna stress me out. But at least I have time. There where you left them out in the galaxy together. Oh, all right. Well, that's fitting.
Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, like the Jedi. All right, guys. Well, on to the next. So we will be back. Since this week is a double feature, we will be back on Friday. So as opposed to doing 2 movies on just Sunday, we're spreading it out. So we're going to do Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on Friday, and then a second movie on Sunday. Yeah. So this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm gonna discuss Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really, really appreciate that. Appreciate you guys chiming in, sharing your thoughts. Always nice interacting with you guys.
All the chatters.
Yeah.
All the people stopping by.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. So thank you guys for watching, for chatting, and hope everybody has a great week. And again, if you haven't already, definitely check out The Inspector Who Reacts. Check out his channel here on YouTube. We got a lot of great stuff on there. So yeah. That's Wind Down. Yes, Wind Down Friday. WINE. Not on YouTube, just on Twitch. Pelican 2 out. All right, Pelicans. We'll see you all on Friday. Everybody have a great night and a great rest of the week. Bye, everybody.
Take care.